Well, Sanjiv, I'm really excited to be here with you to talk about urban resilience. You are the CEO of CIS. You are involved in this type of work in communities across the country, Milwaukee, Prince George's County, Maryland, outside of Philadelphia, Seattle, Kansas City. Um, this is a phrase we hear a lot more. What does it mean to you, this phrase urban resilience?
I am going to frame the urban resilience from a water standpoint because I'm at the end of the day, I'm a water guy. That's what I've done for the last 3 decades. Urban climate resilience to me is the ability of cities and urban areas to basically anticipate, prepare for, respond to, and recover from the impacts of climate change. It can involve things like mitigation, greenhouse gas mitigation, and that has been a big focus of the federal government, especially in the last 4 years. The components of the climate resilience to me in the urban context also includes adaptation strategies, perhaps prior to that and after that, doing risk assessment, implementing and devising sustainable practices that the communities can engage in. It involves community engagement because at the end of the day, it's all about people, human beings that will actually live in those areas. Emergency preparedness is part of that. And last but not the least, the integration of ecosystem as in enhancing urban green spaces is a key aspect of it. And that's where CIS actually plays a role nationally thus far.
You mentioned climate change. Obviously, that is a big driver at the
Mhm.
moment. But could you expand a little bit on why urban resilience is needed at this moment?
Travis, since I mentioned to you that I'm a water sector guy, I'll also tell you that I actually have my graduate degrees are in water resources and civil engineering, and I'm very much a data guy. So I'll give you a few data points. I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and in Southeast Michigan, the largest city that we have in the state of Michigan is the city of Detroit. 40 miles from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Um, in 1992, the 100-year rainfall in the city of Detroit was 4.4 inches. According to the NOAA Atlas 14, which is the book everybody uses for design of stormwater events, the 100-year rainfall in 2019 increased by zero point 0.8 inches to 5.2 inches over a period of about 30, 35 years, right? That zero point 0.8 inches in additional 2 billion gallons of stormwater on the city of Detroit. Not only that, by 2050, SEMCOG, the Southeast Michigan Council of Governments, which is a nonprofit consortium that represents the entities in Southeast Michigan, they have done futuristic estimates, and their estimates indicate that the 100-year rainfall by 2050 will increase to 7.7 inches. That is an additional 6 billion gallons of stormwater. So clearly, just from a stormwater changing precipitation standpoint, there are all sorts of issues that are going on, that require us to prepare as a society at large. The excess of rain is not restricted only to Midwest; it's in other parts of the country. But as you go to West and Southwest, there are other sorts of things that are going on, like rising temperatures and heat island, population growth. People are still migrating to areas that they want to live in. Sea level rise is another issue. And to me, when you think of these broader climatic changes, at the end of the day, the impact on the public health, because these are not just water getting stuck on a highway. At the end of the day, it has all sorts of not very nice health implications for people. If your basement is getting flooded, for example, who is most impacted by climate change in urban areas? It is really the people that actually can least afford it. So social equity issues are also engaged in that. So broadly speaking, collectively as a society, as a government, as the leaders that are engaged on the topic, I think we need to have a very coherent, clear strategy, and to also make investments that are large enough to mitigate and adapt to it. And I have to say, despite the passage of Infrastructure Investment Act, which I know a lot of people are very excited about, and so am I actually, and I think it has done wonders in the last 4 years. To me, it's just not enough money. It's just not enough money. So I think to me, my hope is that the administration actually continues, whoever gets in the White House next year and beyond, they continue to make it a high priority and invest in infrastructure where and when it is needed.
Wow, those statistics from the, Michigan there are stunning with the projected what has increased in rainfall and what's projected to increase. And like you said, that's happening in communities across the country. Well, you know that I'm a very solutions focused person. So what are some of the ways to go about building urban resilience, and especially some of
Mhm.
your favorite solutions on this front?
Mhm. I think to me, at the end of the day, uh, the challenges are monumental, but I also think the United States, especially, has deep enough pockets to actually be able to mitigate it. Um, but when I think of restoration of the environment, urban climate resilience, and again, just emphasizing, I'm coming from water sector, so that's what I'm actually touching. I think at the end of the day, the solution should not just be focused on taking care of the infrastructure and then life goes on. I think it really needs to have a broader impact. For example, if a city government is investing $100 million to upgrade some part of infrastructure in their community, there is really no reason why that community shouldn't actually engage in actually coming up with those solutions and benefiting from the investments that are being made. You don't want to have very large companies that are not even present in that community come in, do the work, and just walk away, because then the community does benefit still by the environmental things that they needed to fix. It has been fixed, which is good. I think the way CIS differs from the standard way of doing business is that our focus is very much on engaging companies in the communities that we actually work in. All of the companies that you mentioned earlier, Prince George's County, Milwaukee. Our teams are largely made up of companies that are based in those communities. I'm actually very proud to say that we have done about $500 million worth of work in the last 8, 9 years on urban resilience adaptation solutions, implementation, and broader delivery. And almost 75% of that work across our portfolio has been done by uh, local disadvantaged business entities, small businesses, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, and we are very proud of that because I feel that it's the key distinguisher of what we actually are able to provide.
I like that when I ask about solutions, you don't just turn right to the technical solution or the infrastructure, but the overall approach. And that by taking this partnership approach, by taking a people focused approach, community focused approach, you have a ripple of benefits. And that's how you really build resilience and lift everything up. So, I look forward to continuing to follow the projects you all have going on around the country. And thanks for this time today, Sanjeev.
And no, thank you, Travis. Thank you very much for doing your homework and for actually knowing a little bit about us. So much appreciated.